All right. So the other day, I made a video where I referenced a experiment that was carried out by this group right here, the Yahoo Music Lab, where basically they took a bunch of different non-popular songs and tested them in multiple groups of people to see if there was a through line that could prove that success is something that you can write into a song, right? And basically what I boiled it down to and what they said is that it's essentially random. And what that means is that each song that they tried tested differently in terms of popularity in each different group. So let's look at this. It's by this group, the Yahoo Music Lab. Because, of course, tech is interested in optimization. They're going to be the ones to carry out a study like this. And that's going to be something that we're going to get into here. I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this because it's not totally random, but it is random in the way that we think about it today, the success of music. So, yada, 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 Yahoo Music Lab. The experiment began by recruiting 14,000 music-savvy youths, primarily in their teens and early 20s. It's very important because that's a lot of what drives musical popularity in the modern age. Well, I guess throughout most of time, but especially in the modern age, right? They were then separated into 9 virtual rooms. In the control group, participants ranked 48 unfamiliar songs by unsigned bands, with the choice to download any song that piqued their interest. The remaining groups were given the same task, but with one crucial difference. They were able to see to the download counts of the others in their group. They were able to see to the download counts of the others in their group. I don't really understand the syntax there, but basically what they're saying is that one group was given a song with no gauge of popularity, right? So it would be like Apple Music versus Spotify. One group listened to songs on Apple Music. This is an analogy. And Apple Music has no stream counts, so that would not influence popularity at all. The other group basically was listening to songs through Spotify. There were stream counts, so that would obviously influence the popularity of songs because the higher a number is, the more likely somebody is to click on it. And there's another study that we can reference that I will have to link, I'm sure, to, but that is a proven thing. Popularity is influential, so when somebody sees something that is popular, they're more likely to be interested in that thing versus something that is unpopular that would then influence whether or not somebody is going to want to listen to it or watch it or wear it or whatever, right? That's part of the point of what I'm going to get into here is that the success of music is not really about the music itself. It's about the social factors that play into success. Okay. The minor difference affected which songs were ranked the highest within each group. However, when comparing the top choices across groups, there was a remarkable lack of agreement. Right? So basically what they're saying here is that the group that was able to see popularity counts for a song did affect the ranking of each song. But despite the fact that that popularity count was influenced in some groups versus the control groups, there was no consensus about which song was the most popular. The favorite song in one group might be different from another group. Okay. Basically, this is where I felt like there was some expanding to do. We have gamified this idea of success to where we've removed the social aspect from it in terms of what the public thinks about. And you can see this. I honestly think this is the effect of a generation that's raised on video games where you don't have to be as social. I mean, social games obviously exist, but like there is a level of like skill-based achievement that I feel like we idolize within our society that is non-social in nature. So what I mean by that is like we're looking at skill and the ability to achieve popularity or success in a thing as an individual factor, right? It's based on how individually good you are at doing a thing. And I feel as though what I'm seeing in music is that that's spread to music in itself, right? So the idea that you can make a song that just by virtue of it being as so good of a song, it's going to therefore achieve you a sense of popularity within a group, right? But that's not actually what gives music or anything success, right? Success is a social factor. So this is where it's like we've gamified it with social media to the point of where people are trying to compete in this arena that is basically like designed to build you up in a way that is antisocial. Because social success requires staying power. So you have to be in a group for a long period of time to achieve some level of notoriety, because you have to break social trust barriers in order to get into a position of power within a group. People have to trust you. They have to know you, right? And so this is the issue that we see with a lot of these social media music successes, is that, I mean, you know, this is referenced time and time again in all sorts of think pieces, but you'll have an artist who will be huge on TikTok and they blow up and they get a song that's got like billions of views, but then they can't sell tickets for a show, right? And this is, to me, exemplary of this exact thing that this Yahoo Music Lab study is like. They're connected, right? This study is basically showing that popularity comes from group consensus. So success in terms of making a song that's good is personal, right? So you feel like a song is very good, and that's important because you have your own metric of what good is. But mutual success is something that is built from the ground up within a group. So you have to form success. If you want to be a successful musician, you have to form it in person, in a social group, because social media is built against that. There is no staying power with social media, right? It's not social media, it's algorithmically driven commercials, right? So basically you're getting shown one thing and then it's like a screen flips and you're shown another thing and scroll, et cetera, et cetera. Who's to say that you're going to see that same thing again and again and again? So all these artists that are posting on social media all the time are just draining their energy, right? They're trying to basically build a fan base in an algorithm that is not designed for building fan bases. So you have to actually start from the ground up. And this is why we are seeing, especially with like, you know, the younger generation, we are seeing a return to local scenes and underground music and things being built up, you know, underground shows. Like there's so many great examples of like success stories with this. And this is something I want to see more of. Like one of my favorite examples personally is how XXXTentacion and Ski Mask the Slump Gods group, whose name I can't remember for the life of me, blew up in Florida, right? When they were young, basically they started to gain traction because they were just playing a bunch of like random shows in Florida, and they had a community of people, and they had a group that made music together, and that group was like 15 people. So the way that they talk about it is like sometimes the crowd would be smaller than the group on stage, but it's that kind of social energy. It builds cohesiveness, and even if the music isn't very good, you know, that music is arguably quite terrible, right? It's the early stuff especially, but there's a social factor that makes it extremely catchy. And that catchiness is because people want to feel like they're a part of a group. So if you want to build success as a musician, you have to create a world that invites people into it. You have to create something that makes people feel like they want to be a part of something. This is why playing shows is so crucial. You have to play shows. There's a band from England right now called Keo that is, I think, doing this really, really well. They are just playing shows, and I think I saw an interview where the singer was talking about how that was how they started. They were just playing shows, and they like didn't put any music out for a while. And now they're putting their music out, and because they have this like fan base of people that know them intimately, that they play, that they know they can come back to, right? That they're playing shows in front of these people all the time. These people already know the songs, right? Now they're starving to hear this music online. So they've been posting this music over the past couple of years, and guess what? They're blowing up. Because it's not about the music. It's about what group are you building? Are you building a family? Are you building a sense of connectivity, right? This is what we are starving for as a species, is to feel connected as a group. So whatever it is that you're making, and this goes beyond music, but my niche is really music because that's what I've spent the most time on. So that's what I can really connect it to. But I can tell that there are other forms of art any scene, right? This is how we used to build scenes. This is why scenes are so important. This is why we need to bring back locality. So get off the internet and stop trying to compete on this thing that, like I said the other day, this is designed for data collection. This is not designed to build community, right? We need locality. We need people to be in a position where they are doing something for their local community. And that's how you become the next LA or the next New York, or, this is how you become the next Andy Warhol. This is how you become the next, the Beatles, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. It's not by trying to, play an algorithm until eventually somebody notices you from a position of power and then they spread your music and now you have this empty, vapid success that can go away in a second. No, you need to build a fan base that is local to you, that understands you, that you share a living space with. You need to share your time and energy with people around you. That's what builds experience, builds connectivity. Shared experience builds connectivity. So whatever you're making, first and foremost, you need to think it's cool. And second, you need to start sharing it to people around you. And we need to start moving towards this now, because as you can see with the internet and the way that everything has sort of become shifted to this online system, we are losing the locality, and we're losing the power to be able to create local in the way that local used to be really strong, right? We had a lot of venues for local bands to play. But that slowly started to die off. So what we need people to play things that aren't typically venues anymore. We need people to make shows that are not at stereotypical venues. Just get out there and talk to people. And the more people are aligned on something, the more influence you're going to have. If you have a group of friends, right, and you're like, hey, I know 17 people that all love making music, and that's what bonds us. You go throw a show in a boiler room somewhere, right? Go throw a show in a diner, rent out some community space, or play a house. That is how you build success on a communal level, right? Not talking personal success like in the last video, not talking about the music meaning something to you. That's a different kind of success. But if you want social success, that's built together. So we need to step out of the narcissistic viewpoint of success is built by being a single person who drives a vision, and from that vision comes all of these adoring fans, right? That's fake and short-lived and empty and vapid. And it's not actually going to bring you the meaning that you want, because the meaning that you're looking for is communal. It's about being equals with the people that you're sharing your experience with. It's about you being on stage is not about showing off and being oh, I'm so cool and so good. It's about I'm in this with the people that I'm communicating an experience with, right? I'm sharing an emotion with you. So this is just, I wanted to expand on this because what I said yesterday about success being random is true from the music perspective if you're playing into the online algorithmic system, which is basically a random number generator, lottery system, right? But it's not random if you are local, building a local scene with local people. If that's the case, then the music doesn't even have to be objectively good on a great scale. All it has to do is make people feel a sense of community and make you feel like you're sharing an experience with somebody. So, just want to make a quick video on that. And thanks for listening, and I will see you next time if I see you. Bye-bye.